So I keep getting this a lot. People asking for me to share my testimony. I guess it's time. I can give a little rundown of what happened that changed me to be where I am today. So all my life I've been attracted to the dark side. I've thrived off seeing people hurt. Used to cut and slash myself and do blood contracts with the devil, and I got things I wanted. I got a form of like fame, I've got money, the women and stuff, but like I see it now that's not at all very fulfilling, quite the opposite of what we're supposed to do and what really truly feels here. But so it was about a year ago, and I was in the heart of my active addiction, still demonic, writing devil music. I'm talking about like pure devil stuff, giving the devil credit. I ended up having an encounter with God. I was sober during this time, like not high. I was not dreaming or sleeping. I was walking to my entertainment center to get a cigarette, and I get pulled out of my body. It was scary at first. The first thing God told me, it was very scary. My soul was scared to death. I was in this like orb. I remember putting my hands in front of my face. I was just a floating consciousness, and there was no time there. Like I could pull slots of time out and move them, but it was still understandable. It's hard to explain. And whenever he spoke to me, it spoke in all octaves, but it sounded very masculine. I could see where they would call it the father. He's not a girl. I don't think he has a gender at all. But like it was very masculine, but it spoke in all octaves, and it sounded not robotic, but remember, God doesn't have vocal cords, I don't think, I guess, but, so the first thing he told me, I remember I was in this orb, I was in this like little ball, and this is like from straight being wide, like imagine me talking to you now, wide awake, and just normal, just chilling, all of a sudden like my world goes black, and I just go to another realm while consciously sitting here. That's what happened. I went and had a complete vision. I don't know what it was. It was an out-of-body experience. He pulled me. I was in my consciousness. Is all it was. All I can explain. Like I remember putting my hands in front of my face, and I couldn't even see my fingers, but I saw like light. He said, first thing he said to me, it was scary. It sounded like saw blades and just like scary, just noise. And he said, "You're not a demon. You're my child." And I remember immediately. It's like my soul. Our souls already know God. It's like I recognized him, and I remember like the best way I can describe it is I fell to like my light knees, like I remember getting down and going, yes, 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 like I understand, like the fear of God is real, and it's out of love. He didn't mean it like in a mean way, but it was very, very scary, because like I knew I was living wrong. My soul knew, but like that's what the devil does, is trick people. But I'm gonna leave you with this, because there's a lot more. Click that follow button. I'm trying to get more people together in this. I'm trying to build my fellowship. Once I get to more, the Spirit will let me know when to share more. But I love you guys. Good morning, my brothers and sisters. I wanted to do part 2 of my encounter with God. I'm sure there'll be more, because it's pretty lengthy. It was intense. But the thing is, when it happened, there was like no time there. I hope everyone's having a blessed Sunday. I missed church this morning. I ended up sleeping. I work overnights, and I don't usually miss church, but I was exhausted, man. I did a lot of work yesterday. Setting up my studio, still working on it. Setting up my studio area so I can make kingdom music, Christian rap, worship. I got all kinds of ideas up here. God gave me the talent, and the devil tried to twist it, and I know more, man. That's what I keep saying. I'm a soldier for God, but okay, so as promised, I'll continue on my testimony. The Spirit said it was time. So where we left off with was the first thing he said to me, where he said, "You're not a demon, you're my child," which was scary. He said, I didn't choose this life. He came to me in the heart of my worst, man. He came to me and gave me this encounter with him. It's like, I know people talk about these encounters. It even says somewhere, a false prophet who doesn't tell their story or makes up things or stuff like that is obviously bad in God's eyes. It says it's like, I'm very thankful to say that my testimony is very real. I didn't choose this life, but sorry, I get really excited about this. That's why I changed my life, guys. That's why I started following Christ, man, all day. Got the cross on my piece and chain. You know what I mean? So the next thing that happens, I remember, like it was like a transitional period. I remember I was like, is this and he said, yes, Ronnie. And when he said this, like tears, like the overwhelming joy, he said, yes, Ronnie. He said my name, like he knew me, he knows me, of course he does. Asked him again, I said, is this? And he said, yes, Ronnie, louder. And it's more joy and more intense, like feelings came out of me, like tears were shooting out of my eyes. Like it felt like whatever I was looking out of my conscious, whatever I was, there was like just pure joy and excitement and love and overfilling, like it's like immediate, like the most infinite energy and love that you could ever experience. Like it was like okay, I'm not a demon, I'm your child, and then you know me, like that was amazing. He said, yes, Ronnie. Even more, that the second time. Then like it feels like I heard like angelic like voices, like the music, like dude, heaven in like God's world is very musical. It's very just like it was very like flowy and lovey, and like it even says in the Bible somewhere, or someone told me that even the plants dance and praise God in heaven. And that always rang really intense with me after that moment. I didn't know that until after I started digging into it, but it made sense. Like my soul was dancing, But I'm gonna put in part 3 now, because I feel like it's time, when the Spirit tells me to stop, whatever I will. But like, stay tuned for part 3. Give me a follow too. I love you guys, man. Let's build the body. This is part 3 of my encounter with God. Sorry the videos have to be like this. It's how TikTok is. But say hi to my kitty cat. Sorry to anyone that this offends. I'm not that hard dude that was out in the streets doing what I used to do. I like my cats, and I like hearts and butterflies. And anyway, so where we left off, he said, yes, Ronnie. He said, I asked, is this? He said, yes, Ronnie. So the way things transitioned then, I remember it was like the overwhelming joy, the happiness, like felt like, like God personally knew me and loved me. He's been watching me. It was awesome. But so we go into the next part. The best way I can describe it after a long time of like thinking about it, because it's about a year ago when this happened. He told me, it sounded like he was briefing me, like he was like, it's like he fed me information. It's like if I said to you, okay, we're gonna go out here, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, that's how he talked to me in this moment. Like, it's like, okay, now that he established connection and I knew who it was, the first thing he told me, he said, I'm coming soon. This is why I believe wholeheartedly. He told me these things. It's like our souls already know God. So like he let me ask questions from my heart. The questions came from like the center of my being, and I didn't even get to finish them. It was like he said that first, and then like, okay, so the questions came from the center of my being, my soul, my consciousness, my floating consciousness, wherever I was in this void, in this orb, like, there was like purple streaks, and they were like condensing and getting bigger and smaller. And the difference between this and like I've lucid dreamed before, I've been in full control, I've had really vivid dreams, and they don't even compare to this. Like I've been in full control of my dreams before, where I can manifest things right in front of me and move things in ship-shaped, shape. So he said, I'm coming soon. Okay, and it's like, okay, I'll receive that. I remember my soul asked him and said, well, who's Jesus? But remember, I didn't even get to ask fully what, I didn't even get to ask fully, but he allowed me to ask the questions, I'm assuming, so that I had the knowledge of what I was asking, so I could bring it back to earth with me. So I'm here to tell you guys. And let's see, I said, who's Jesus? And the only thing he told me was, that's my son, that's your brother. So Jesus is obviously his son, but when I call him like brother Jesus, that's my brother, that's my partner, my companion, my companion in what we do in life. That's my buddy, like he gave it to me the way that it worked for me. I don't know, I think experiences are personal. He knows what he needed to do for me, and like so I changed my life. We're gonna move on to part 4 now, because I just want to go get this out the way, let you guys know. I don't like leaving people on on hold and stuff. I love you guys. I'll be right back. This is part 4 of my encounter with God. Okay, so we left off, he told me about Jesus. I said, who is Jesus? Like, except when I asked it, I was like, well, who is Jesus then? Kind of like, but not so like smart aleck or anything, but like I just wanted to know, I wanted it informed, you know, because I think that was my soul knows God, our souls know God, right? It's definite. We have a very close connection. All he wants is a relationship with us, guys. He made us. Like, if I get a cat, I'm not gonna like get it and just. I want it to love me. I want to love it so it loves me, you know. But I want the cat to obey. I don't want it to scratch the furniture up. But okay, sorry, I get off on my tangents, my God tangents. The next thing, oh yeah, because I was in active addiction. Like I said, there's no excuse. I wasn't high during this time. I could explain the whole scenario, but it's irrelevant in the moment. Just know that like he picked the perfect time. There was no distractions. I wasn't sleeping. I didn't stand up too quick. I was already awake and fully aware. I wasn't high. Like, there's no excuse. He knew that the devil would try to make these excuses to try to make me think that this didn't happen, which is crazy, because if my brain created this, it's the best thing that ever happened, because I changed my entire life and who I am and what I'm about and what my goals and ambitions. And anyway, so the next thing he tells me, remember, he was like, don't worry about getting sober, don't worry about getting clean. In that moment, when I came out of this experience, I was like, yay, God said I don't have to get sober. But little did I know, he was very supernaturally gonna send me, like, people I used to call every day for drugs just stopped answering out of nowhere. I couldn't find them for nothing. I mean, like, supernaturally, like, it's crazy. People that, like, the girl I was with at the time couldn't even believe how just in an instant everything just went to crap, you know, like with because like I wasn't like the lowest of the chain, but like it doesn't matter. It was very supernaturally, and even to this day, he removed that desire from me. He did it. All glory to him. I literally just obey what's in front of me. Anyway, guys, sorry, I get overly excited. I can't help it, man. It's the best thing ever. But so he said, don't worry about getting sober. Don't worry about getting clean. And I just was like, okay, like I receive. The next thing I remember saying, I was like, I remember going, God, this is all I needed. You knew this is all I needed to believe, because I need tangible evidence. I've been trying to like search for God or what God could be in every form or fashion other than Christianity. I don't know why. The demons hate Jesus. They hate God. That's why they wanted to deter us from it. I was very anti-religious, anyway, so this is all I needed, God. This is all I needed. And then I was like, I just want to see you. Who are you? What are you? You know. So we're going to the next part now. It's about to exit or whatever. But this is part 5, and trying to make this the last one of my encounter with God. So the last part we left off, I said, this is all I needed. You knew this is all I needed. I remember like saying it like with all the love I could, and I was like, this is all I needed, like joy. I was like, and you knew that. You made me this way. And I said, what do you look like? Who are you? Like, what? I want to see you. And this is how another way that I know that God is, if God, like, if we could be in the presence of God, we would explode, like literally, because like, so if you can imagine a piece of paper, like that orb that was around me, it was like it had a surface, but it didn't. Like, well, if you can imagine like shining a flashlight on a piece of paper, like seeing that light, imagine it getting closer and closer, and it comes down to a condensed form. Like, I just knew that he was getting closer. It's like the things we know up there, we don't have to be like told necessarily. Like we just. You know, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's words on this earth can't explain it. But so if you can imagine like a light coming to a piece of paper, and like it was getting closer, and as it got closer, it felt like the best way I could describe it was like every atom in my light body, like there's no words to describe it, but I felt my body turn into like a vibrating wave. But it was like if you can imagine every atom in your body being like a light year apart and then waving in a big wave, but it was intense. Like I couldn't handle it. I remember going, okay. I was like, okay. Like I understood, my soul understood, and like I was able to bring this information back to how powerful God is. Okay, so there's lots of things that's happened in my life, since and even before. Actually, I'll go ahead and throw another one out there too here in a minute of what happened to me July 3rd of 2012. But so came back when I was back to earth. I remember like when I came back, it's like things. I was still standing up. I had tears running down my eyes. Like my face was like burning hot. Like it was so intense. I was still standing straight up. I ran to my room. Oh, one of the other things he told me, this is why I didn't share it in the moment, and now I know why, because I wouldn't hold depth and weight. One of the things he also told me, I can't believe I forgot this, he said, don't go running around telling people right now. I didn't understand the moment. I couldn't help but not tell everybody, but I held it back because that's what God told me to do. I told a lot of people. Lots of things even happened since then that, like, he didn't want me telling people in the moment. There's a time and a place. God's timing is perfect. Kairos, which is Hebrew for God's time. But there is going to be a part 6. So sorry. Sorry, not sorry. But so I came back. It's like I had wisdom of stuff I shouldn't even know. And I came back with gifts of discernment. I could read like people's feelings and emotions, and there's a reason behind it, because now I can see who needs help and how to help them a little better. Usually, we're gonna go to part 6, and that's it. I promise. Okay, so this is part 6, but kind of went off. I had to hold back tears, man. I just got really, really grateful and thankful there for a moment, man. That's one thing that, I guess it's a pride thing, like something more like, I don't cry. Look at me, I got face tattoos, I don't cry. Like, and I had to hold back tears because the joy of the Lord is just, it's so real. Like, if you haven't experienced that yet, man, I pray right now in Jesus' name that the Holy Spirit fills you right now, so that you can experience that, man. And then whenever He does, give it away. Just give love away. That's what I do. I go get my cup full till I run it over, and then I give it away, sorry, excuse me. I guess I'll explain what happened July 3rd of 2012. So I was at Virginia Beach. I was in a condo with a bunch of devil worshippers living off drug money. Quote unquote, had everything I wanted: money, girls, cars, friends. But we was all, like I said, I used to be real demonic, guys. Like I signed contracts with the devil. I'd hear voices that, that I would pray to hear. That's the thing. The devil can't come in unless we let him in. He knocks and we let him in. It's a choice, because the world twists our thinking and thinking that's okay. It's a very narrow path with God. Worth it. Absolutely. Jesus is life, man. He is life. God is love. Jesus is life. But so I was in a condo full of devil worshippers at the beach, getting drugs before July 4th to sit there on the beach and watch the fireworks. In my sleep, I remember like my soul started kind of like knocking, saying like, not really that this isn't right to live this way, but so in my dream, this is what I was dreaming during this time. This is why I guess maybe I dismissed it, but this is where my whole spirituality opened up, to where I realized there's more, because when it's Jesus or God in your presence, like you just know, your soul knows, man. Like anyone that's experienced this knows, man. And I don't doubt it one bit if you say it. I can tell when someone's being real about what they heard or seen with God or Jesus, man. That's that discernment I have now, man. But so in my sleep in this condo, a depiction of Jesus, or he came in a picture. It got close enough to where it came into focus, and I heard his voice, and he said, "Come join me." And I remember I immediately woke up, and I was full of the Spirit then, and didn't know what it was, but I was like, guys, I remember going like, God is real. There is something out there. And still the devil had a hold of me, because sin is pleasurable, living wrong is pleasurable, but it's not long lasting. It's not long fulfilling. I can get full of Spirit, man. I take ever since my experience this last time with God, I've had it with me now going on 9 months, well, a year. But since I got sober, every day is great. I'm grateful, even in hard times, because I know on the other end is a lesson learned, something I can apply to now, and my life gets better, and I can help more people. But there, I gave you guys my testimony. I was a demon. Now I'm not. I rap for Jesus. I don't even like calling myself a rapper. I'm just a poet, and I put it to beats, man. Stay tuned, guys. Love y'all.